Hello everybody. Today's lecture on single phase fully controlled rectifiers of power electronics. The single phase full controlled converters are also called as single phase full wave controlled rectifiers, full wave rectifiers, or full wave controlled converters also. Next, classification of the single phase full wave converters or the rectifiers, if you may observe here. These are single phase full wave controlled converters. Under single phase full wave controlled converters, we are having midpoint converters, or midpoint converters are also called as center tapped transformer converters. M2 converters is also called as M2 converters. Single phase full wave midpoint converters or single phase center tapped connected transformer converters are also called M2 converters. M2. Next one, this is the single phase full wave bridge converter. Under single phase full wave bridge converter, we are having, that is a bridge converter. Under we are having that semi converters, semi converter, full converter. That is single phase half wave bridge converter and single phase full wave bridge converter. This is comes under single phase half wave bridge converter comes under the category of semi converter, or also called semi converter, and single phase full wave bridge converters are also called as full wave converters. Okay, this is nothing but the classification of this is the classification of the full wave converters. Again, we are having three phase also. I think what we shown that only for single phase. For if you come across this three phase, that is nothing but depend upon the supply of the phase. Okay, depend upon the application. Single phase supply we are having, and also three phase supply. Three phase supply is also having same. Single phase we are given the classification as the same of a three phase is also having the same classification. There is no difference. But what is the difference means here? For single phase, we are having you have to operate for low power rating applications only. Single phase. For if you go for three phase means there is a high power capability applications can be operated. Okay, in industrial areas, if you observe, three phase rectifiers or three phase converters are supply voltage rating of up to 400 volts, 400 volts rating DC supply. Okay, so that's why wherever the DC motors are established to work on application, there itself three phase supply is again it should be converted into DC by using these three phase full wave controlled rectifiers or three phase full wave bridge converters. Okay, then we can study about the one by one of a single phase full wave converters. Here, single phase full wave control rectifier using a center tapped transformer. Single phase full wave control rectifier using a center tapped transformer. What is this here? If you observe, normally in the previous sessions you studied about that only a single thyristor has been placed and the single thyristor has been connected across the load or in series with the load, like that. Okay, here if you observe, by using of this single phase the single thyristor, that is having that voltage across the output should be, average voltage should be very low value, that is for only half cycle, for only half wave, that is half cycle only, that it should be giving output. But what about the negative half cycle? For negative half cycle there is no output, therefore the voltage capability should be reduces. Okay, across the load. Now by using of a full wave means, here for full wave single phase AC supply, both positive half cycle and also negative half cycle both are utilizing. For suppose if you observe, this is the transformer, this is the transformer. Here This is the transformer. This is the transformer. Here, if you observe, the transformer with the primary connection, with the primary winding connected and the secondary winding connected. The primary has been given to the AC supply. This is the AC supply. Supply voltage Vs is equal to Vm sin omega t. That is the voltage which we are applying here. Here, if you consider, the secondary has been connected towards the thyristor T1 and also thyristor T2. In between thyristor T1 and T2 values, thyristors, we have been placed that resistive and inductive loads, that is RL load. Okay, this A and B has shows that endpoints of this transformer windings. Why? Because we are connected a midpoint also, midpoint of the transformer secondary winding. Here, if you observe, if there is a positive half cycle, for suppose if there is a positive half cycle, with a positive half cycle, with a positive half cycle, what should be happen with a positive half cycle? Here, if you consider, this is the positive half cycle. Okay, if you consider, this is the yes, with respect to the sinusoidal voltage which we are applying here, a positive half cycle and also a negative half cycle we are getting. Here, if you consider, for positive half cycle, sorry, that is nothing but for positive half cycle, whenever the supply is given, for positive half cycle, thyristor T1 will conduct by giving the gate pulse. Here, this is the gate. This is nothing but the gate. Okay. By giving the gate pulse here, this is the triggering or gate pulse of a T1 thyristor. By giving the gate pulse to across this and also supply given towards the anode and cathode. This is the anode and cathode of the thyristor. Therefore, what should happen with these all conditions? Here, we are getting that supply. That is, the thyristor T1 is getting turned on. The thyristor T1 is getting turned on. Therefore, with respect to thyristor turn on or conducting state, coming towards the conducting state of a positive half cycle, therefore, the current is to be moving like this, in this direction. The current is to be moving in this direction, yes, towards the RL load. And the current is to be leaving like this. Nothing but the current can be traveled within the current can flow within the path of this direction. Okay, of A, if you consider A terminal, yes, from thyristor towards the O. Okay, over positive half cycle is completed. The next one, if we come across this negative half cycle, for negative half cycle, what should be happen? With respect to the negative half cycle, here, this is the positive half cycle. Here for negative half cycle, what should be happen? This thyristor will be turned off. Why? Because anode is more negative with respect to cathode. Okay. With, why? Because it is positive here, it is negative here in previous. This for positive half cycle. With respect to negative half cycle, here what should be happen? This is positive and this is negative. This A terminal or A polarity has been changing with a negative and B polarity with a positive. Here positive comes. Whenever here positive comes and here negative comes. Okay. What should be happen? With respect to positive here, therefore thyristor T2 will be conduct. Before that thyristor T1 is turned off. This is off. Therefore it is an open circuit. It is an open circuit. Whenever thyristor T2 will turn on or coming towards the conducting state by giving the gate pulse here. Here we are giving that again gate pulse towards the thyristor T2. Okay, here gate pulse has been removed and thyristor is reverse biased and it should be in it coming towards the turn off state. Turn off state. Turn off state. Here, turn off state. Here if you consider negative half cycle, thyristor T2 will turn on and the current is to be moving like this. Current is to be moving like this. Here I am shown with a diode, but it is not connected. It is shown with a dotted line, that is a freewheeling diode. It is a freewheeling diode. Okay, the freewheeling diode here not used. Okay, this is the procedure, working procedure for the circuit. Okay, for a positive half cycle and for negative half cycle. But if you consider in the by using of a half wave control rectifier, we are not used this thyristor. T1 thyristor T only used. Thyristor T1 only used. Okay. Then what about the output voltage? Load across the output voltage V0 and I0 current values. Just we can observe now. Here discontinuous load current operation without freewheeling diode for pi less than beta less than pi plus alpha. What is this discontinuous load current operation without a freewheeling diode? Here I am not using any freewheeling diode. Freewheeling diode is nothing but this one. This diode is called a freewheeling diode. Here I am not using this one. Okay, without a freewheeling diode, there is no continuous current operation. There is no continuous current. Okay, so that's why how the nothing but at which interval that output voltage and also the load current can be operated. That is pi less than beta less than pi plus alpha. If you observe in the waveforms, here these are the waveforms of output voltage and also the output current here. Here if you consider, this is the firing angle. This is the firing angle alpha value. This is the firing angle alpha. This thyristor is fired at alpha is equal to some degree, 30 degree or 45 degree like that. And what about the current voltage? Here if you observe, the voltage should be, okay, the voltage is to be for positive half cycle, it is not from the origin, starting from the origin, but it should go going towards the negative side also. Negative side also. Okay, negative side also. Why? Because due to the inductance, this type of waveform is to be observed due to the inductance presence in the load. Inductance present in the load, that is RL load. With respect to L inductance, the waveform should be given like this of negative half cycle, negative half side also. Therefore, from alpha, it starts fired. The thyristor is given a gate pulse and fired the thyristor. Therefore, the magnitude of the output voltage starts like this. And up to it should be pi value. Why? Because at a pi value, it should be coming towards a zero. The waveform, if you observe the dotted line of the supply voltage coming towards a zero. Okay, coming towards the zero. And if you observe up to beta value, again should be on conducting state only. On conducting, nothing but supply is producing by the inductor. So that's why we are getting that on the negative side also, this type waveform. Okay, and here if you consider negative half cycle, yes, negative half cycle is also conducting here now. Why? Because for positive half cycle, thyristor 1 conducting, T1 is conducting. For negative half cycle, thyristor T2 is conducting for negative half cycle. Therefore, what should be happen? For negative half cycle also, the thyristor is conducting. Therefore, the output voltage across the load is to be getting this much. The waveform should be same as that of the positive half cycle. So that's why the output voltage should be like this. And this is nothing but the beta. Up to this one is the beta value, extinction angle. Okay, and alpha is the firing angle. And what about the current values? What about the current, output current? Here, if you consider the output current, from up to alpha, it should be a zero value. Up to alpha, it is a zero. After that, it should be rising gradually, increasing gradually. The current is increasing gradually. That is, it if voltage is to be maximum, if you observe this, voltage is having a maximum amplitude. Maximum amplitude, the current is to be gradual increasing, very small value with a gradual increase. And whenever voltage is to be coming to zero side, zero amplitude, therefore at this moment pi value, the current is getting high value, highest value. Okay, and up to beta there is conducting state only. Therefore up to beta the current should be shown with a waveform alpha to beta, and from up to beta there is a conducting. After that should be zero again. 2 pi plus alpha, sorry, pi plus alpha, it is a pi plus alpha, pi plus alpha to pi plus beta, it is a pi plus beta, like that. It is in the conducting state only. Again 2 pi plus alpha, 2 pi plus alpha plus 2 pi plus beta, 2 pi plus beta, like that. Okay, this is completely current. But it is a continuous or a discontinuous? It is a continuous current operation or it is a discontinuous operation, current operation? It is a discontinuous current operation. Why? Because the current is getting towards a zero. If it is not coming to zero means the current is to be like this. The current waveform starts here only from the starting, and it is not getting to zero, and it should be like this waveform. That it should be observed in the next discontinuous current mode of operation. This is the output voltage and output current waveforms from the operation of the single phase full wave midpoint converter. And from this, how can the expressions of output voltage and output can be derived? We observe that to derive an expression for the output load current, okay, during omega t is equal to alpha to beta when thyristor T1 conducts. Yes, previously observed that alpha to beta only the thyristor is conducting. Alpha to beta, the thyristor is conducting. Okay, so that's why load current can be calculated. Expression for the output current or the load current during omega t is equal to alpha to beta. Here, assume that T1 is the triggered at omega t is equal to alpha. Yes, whenever thyristor T1 is triggered at omega t is equal to alpha, the expression can be write as the equation of L times di naught by dt plus R I naught, which is equals to Vm sin omega t. Okay, this is applied for the KVL. If you consider this is the T1 is triggered, if you apply here KVL, when T1 is turned on, T2 is turned off. Therefore, there is no circuit here. There is only circuit here only. Therefore, by applying KVL here, here we are getting Vs. Here we are getting Vs. Okay, how can you apply the KVL equation? How can you apply the KVL equation here? Here, if you consider the KVL means here Vs we are getting. This is the Vs value. This is the Vs value. Okay, what is this Vs? This Vs is Vm sin omega t. Vm sin omega t. Okay. Vm sin omega t. Next one, what happened? Plus minus, yes, it should be starts with a minus. Therefore, minus Vs or minus Vm sin omega t, okay, plus I naught R. This is I naught R. I naught R, it should be like this. This is the I naught current. I naught current is to be moving like this. I naught R plus L times di naught by dt. Okay, this is the expression for by applying KVL equation towards the when thyristor T1 conducts. Here, that is the general expression L times di naught by dt plus Ri naught plus Vm sin omega t at interval of omega t less than or equal to alpha and less than or equal to beta, sorry, alpha less than or equal to omega t less than or equal to beta value. Okay, in previous we obtained this also, that is a general expression. It can be written in the form of general expression, that is I naught is equal to Vm by z sine omega t minus pi plus a1 e power minus t by tau. That is, this is the steady state component of current and this is the transient component of current. That is the output current consisting of steady state component current and also the transient current also. So by both currents can be giving towards the load side. Okay, so that's why what about the Vm? What about the Vm? Vm is the maximum voltage or maximum supply voltage, which is equals to root 2 into Vs value. Root 2 into Vs value is root 2 VRMS, that is VSC or VRMS, and Z is equal to square root of R square plus omega L square, which is equals to load impedance, and pi is nothing but the tan inverse of omega L by R, that is the load impedance angle, and tau is the time constant of a load circuit, that is if we are considering the RL load. Therefore, what is the time constant of this RL load? Therefore, tau is equal to L by R. Okay, general expression is for the output load current is to be Vm by Z sine of omega t minus pi plus E1 e power minus R by Lt. Here, these are the expressions which are also derived for half wave control rectifier also. Same expression we are getting. Okay, for half wave for thyristor 1, for half wave thyristor T2. Okay, therefore output current should be changes. Therefore, for calculating using the boundary condition A1, that is A1, it should be calculated. We are getting some constant values, and A1 is to be multiplied in the previous general expression. A1 is to be getting this much value, and this A1 is to be multiplied in the previous expression, general expression, in this value, in this value. Okay, next we are getting the I naught value, the total final expression Vm by Z sine of omega t minus pi minus sine of alpha minus pi into e power minus R by omega L, the omega t minus alpha, where alpha less than or equal to omega t less than or equal to beta. This is the interval period. Okay, this is the total output current for the inductive load. Okay, inductive loads. Next one, how can you calculate the extension angle of a beta? Extension angle of a beta, it can be calculated by using that, make into I naught is equal to 0 and replace with omega t is equal to beta value. Then we have to calculate that beta value. We can getting that beta value of extension angle. And what is about the output voltage, output current? We have observed that. Why? Because the output current is considering of two component of current, steady state component of current and also the transient component of current due to the inductance value. Therefore, how can you calculate this output voltage? Output voltage. Here, if you observe, V naught value, V naught is to be conducting from alpha to pi, from alpha to pi. Again, it should be pi plus alpha to 2 pi. Okay, pi plus alpha to 2 pi. Okay, here if you observe, V naught of DC is equal to VDC, which is equals to 1 by pi. Okay, 1 by pi integral omega t, that is alpha to integral alpha to beta. V naught of d of omega t, alpha to beta. Here, if you consider by integrating this V naught of Vm sin omega t, we are getting that Vm by pi of minus cos omega t alpha to beta, that it can be solved, and the average output voltage V naught is equal to Vm by pi of cos alpha minus cos beta. Okay, nothing but if you observe, it is starting from the alpha value. That is, when triggered alpha at alpha, whenever it should be coming towards the end position. Okay, nothing but it continuously coming towards 0 and also at the same time beta. So that's why from pi it is crossing from pi 180 degrees and towards the negative half cycle. Therefore, it will be considered for beta also. So that's why beta, alpha to beta, alpha integral alpha to beta V naught d of omega t, and the output expression is to be VDC or V naught is equal to Vm by pi of cos alpha minus cos beta. Next, when the load inductance is to be negligible or equal to zero, approximately to zero, and extension angle beta is equal to pi radians for suppose. Hence, what about the average output voltage for R load? R load Vm by pi of cos alpha minus cos pi. Beta place has been replaced with the pi radians. Therefore, cos pi, which is equals to minus 1. Therefore, cos alpha minus of minus 1, which brings towards Vm by pi of 1 plus alpha, 1 plus cos alpha for R load, resistive load. Okay. And to calculate the RMS value of the output voltage expression, same Vm sin omega t, and the interval is to be alpha to beta. And if you calculate, the output expression is also, I'm getting for the output voltage. Sorry, output voltage expression is also getting for an RMS value also. And next one, discontinuous load current operation with freewheeling diode. Discontinuous load current operation. Discontinuous load operation with a freewheeling diode. Here, if you observe, what about the negative half cycle or a negative peak which we are getting in the previous waveforms is deleted. That is nothing but it is discontinued. Okay, which is neglected. Okay, that is nothing but the discontinuous load current operation with a freewheeling diode. The same waveforms we will observe, but what about the output voltage is to be changed, some change, that is negative peak is to be eliminated. It starts from zero only. Here thyristor T1 is triggered at omega t is equal to alpha, and the T1 conducts from omega t is equal to alpha to pi. Thyristor T2 is triggered at omega t is equal to pi plus alpha, and T2 conducts from omega t is equal to pi plus alpha to 2 pi. Okay, and for freewheeling diode conducts, there is a freewheeling diode period also there. Interval is also there. That is a freewheeling diode conducts from omega t is equal to pi to beta. Omega t is equal to pi to beta, and V naught is approximately equal to zero during discontinuous load current operation. Okay, if you observe in the previous waveform here, alpha to beta there is a output voltage, but here if you consider alpha to sorry pi to beta for present waveform, this is this one 0, pi to beta it's 0. Okay, pi to beta, freewheeling diode conducts from omega t is equal to pi to beta. In the previous we observed that waveform, and this is about the single phase full wave control rectifier with using a center table transformer. And next one, if you go through the single phase full wave bridge converters, I explained some points about that, about the single phase full wave bridge converters. Here, for the single phase full wave bridge converters, phase controlled or single phase full wave converters are of actually three types mainly. Full wave bridge types of rectifiers are three types. That is uncontrolled converters, half controlled converters, and fully controlled converters. Here, if you observe, uncontrolled means we studied in the previous session of diode rectifiers. Those are called uncontrolled rectifiers or converters. And next one is half controlled converters and fully controlled converters. Here, if you observe, an uncontrolled converter is a, or a rectifier is a, there is no gate terminal, there is only anode and cathode terminals. Whenever the supply is given, therefore the diode can be turned on, and it should be in a turn on state only. Up to the anode is more positive with respect to cathode. Okay, at the time period, anode is made more positive with respect to cathode. The diode is on position, on state only. Okay, there is no controlling over that particular diode. Okay, that is called as diode uncontrolled converters. But what about the uh, rectifiers of controlled means, which we are observing now? That is the thyristor 1, thyristor 2 we are replacing. Here half controlled and fully controlled we are having, that is half wave and full wave. Okay, half wave we studied previous, but we are now to study about the full wave control rectifiers. Here, uh, for half controlled converter, for suppose half controlled converter are also called as a semi converter. In full wave, we are not studied. In full wave, half wave controlled converter are also called as a semi converter. Here, uses a mixture of nothing but a mixture of construction uses a mixture of diodes and thyristors. Okay, diodes and thyristors to getting the output voltage. Okay, or to getting that control over the level of the DC output voltage. Okay, here next one, a fully controlled converter. A fully controlled converter is sorry, a semi converter or a half controlled converter is a one quadrant converter. One quadrant converter. One quadrant converter means I will explain that. Here there is four quadrants of operation we are having actually. Suppose for any motor we are having, I will explain with. Okay, here if you consider we are having four quadrants of operation for a motor. Okay, for nothing but we always discuss about the applications of three phase motors only, three phase rectifiers related motors only. That is, uh, this is the voltage, output voltage, and this is the output current. If you consider, this is the output current, that is average value. Okay, that's why I shown with the capital letters V and I. Okay, here for suppose, okay, this is nothing but the quadrant operation. This is the first quadrant. Okay, this is the first quadrant, and this is the second quadrant, and this is the third quadrant. Okay, and this is the fourth quadrant, like that. This is the fourth quadrant. Okay, like that we're having that four quadrant of operations, four quadrants of operation. Here semi converters are comes under this is the fourth quadrant operation. And here if you consider the semi converter operate under this region only. The semi converter operate under this region. This is the region of operation for the semi converter or half wave controlled converters. Okay, nothing but limited applications we're having for semi converters. Limited applications. For if you go for applications with high range values, means high number of means more number of applications, means we go for full wave controlled converters. Full wave controlled converters. For full wave controlled converters, the region is to be nothing but the operating region is to be changes. The operating region is to be like this. This is nothing but fourth quadrant, and also the first quadrant is the operating region for the fully controlled or two quadrant converter. It is a fully controlled converter or two quadrant converter. That is, with using of this two quadrant converter, um, the single phase bridge type full converters are comes under this category. Okay, this category. This is nothing but the full controlled converters. This is nothing but the full control. Okay. Okay, let's we discuss about the in the next class we discuss about this single phase full wave bridge converters of half wave and also the full wave. Before that we are having the RLE load also, nothing but single phase center tap transformer. In the in this now session which we are going this now session, present session, in the present session we are using the center tap transformer. Here the center tap transformer we are using only RL load only. We are not using the general load, that is RLE load. Okay, in the next class we will study about the RLE load or the general load, and we will derive the expression for the output voltage and also the output currents. And next after we go for the these single phase full wave bridge converters or rectifiers. Okay, I hope all of you understand about this single phase center type of transformer with using a full wave control rectifier. In the next session, we will continue bridge converters. Thank you. Thank you.